Hello. So we've gone back to the days when there were lots of restrictions, when we couldn't have normal funerals in Ghana, where people rather left the dead in the morgue in the hope that the restrictions will be lifted so they could have a befitting burial for their loved ones. We're back to those days. What's the situation now today? Are the churches clear in terms of what they can do and what they cannot do? Since private funerals or private burials have been limited to 25, but is there a clear understanding in terms of the burial service itself? Let's speak to Most Reverend Dr. Paul K. Boafo. He's chairman of the Christian Council of Ghana. And then also, Madam Genevieve Cornelius is MD Transitions. I want to say good morning to you both. Thank you so much for joining me here on the AM Show.
Hi, good morning, Mama B.
Yes, hi.
Good morning, and thank you for the invitation.
Thank you too. Reverend Dr. Paul Boafo, I want to start with you.
Right.
Are we back to the previous days when we had the restrictions? I remember when I visited your church and, you know, with the long seats, you still had just two people. What's the structure today?
Thank you very much, and good morning to your cherished viewers and to all of you. Yeah, we are back, but not back as it was in the opening times when we were easing the restrictions. We are still observing the social distancing of 4 or 5 people on the pew, which could have taken 10 people. That one, we are still observing it. The hand washing and the number of people is still the same. But the other issue has to do with the funerals, because later we could bring in as many mourners that could be taken by the church. But now it's been restricted. That's one difference that we have there. And then per what the president said, weddings are also banned, but we are seeking clarification on those issues.
Okay, which means that even at the level of the Christian Council, you're still not very clear. The information minister designate did say that the president had not banned marriages, except that you couldn't do the normal reception that we will do after the church ceremony. Is that not the understanding that you also have?
Yes, we have that understanding. But yesterday, we had a meeting, and some suggestions were coming that the security are not aware of what the minister designate was saying. And so we needed to further go to him to either write officially to them so that they will also be aware that, in fact, weddings and funeral services are not banned. Because for us, our understanding was that if it's a funeral where you have the corpse, then you have what we call private burial of 25 mourners. And if they come in, then after that, they go to the cemetery, and that is it. That was our understanding. And then the weddings as banned meant that we could not have it at all. But the minister is saying that, well, it is not banned. You can have it as part of yourself, but the reception and other things that come after the marriage rites is what has been banned. And so we are still seeking clarification today so that those who have even planned their weddings tomorrow and Sunday can go ahead.
Okay, the only issue, Reverend Dr. Paul Boafo, is the fact that today is Friday, so people are still confused, not knowing whether to still call off the wedding or postpone the funeral service. So is it the minister designate that you're writing to in terms of the presidency, or this is the police to remind them of what the minister had said?
In fact, the police or the security, we are seeking clarification with the police as well as the minister. If the minister can inform them that this is the explanation or this is the details of what the president said, then we can go ahead and have these weddings. Okay. But with the funerals, we believe that with the 25, which is private, that one can go ahead. But the restriction is to do with the wedding. Can we have it as part of the service, which we believe can be done?
Okay. Have you had
yes.
Have you had the security agency stopping some of the churches from carrying out some of these activities?
Not as yet, because it was only last Sunday, and weddings normally will come on Saturday or Sundays. And so we are looking forward to tomorrow and Sunday. And I know that some weddings have been fixed for tomorrow and Sunday, and that's why we also want to expedite the procedure so that those who have planned ahead cannot fail, so that they could have it as part of the church service and then avoid the reception and other things that come with it.
Okay. Let me bring Genevieve in. Genevieve manages one of Ghana's busiest, if you like, funeral service organizers. She's managing director of transitions. Genevieve, good morning to you again. I remember the earlier lockdown, people kept dead bodies in the morgues, hoping that the restrictions will be lifted so we can do in Ghana a befitting funeral service for the dead. What's the situation with the current announcements?
Okay, Mama V, good morning to you and good morning to your cherished listeners. Thank you. The situation as it is now, we are in the early days yet, but it mirrors what happened late last year when the government restrictions were imposed. The normal reaction you get is people would immediately reschedule their funerals or cancel it altogether until unknown date, and that had a direct impact on the cold room, meaning that you have the morgue capacity increasing. So basically, that is the situation as we are in. Immediately, we have seen some families coming in and requesting for a postponement, praying that the government will ease down the restrictions with time. And others are also in a confused state, not knowing what to do, either to go ahead with the funeral or to cancel it altogether.
Okay.
So that is the current situation.
After the president's address on Sunday, we had the Minister of Information designate give further clarity to the directive. What's your own understanding and what's your arrangements?
Thank you, Mama V. So basically, when the first announcement of 25 came in, we immediately prepared for the earlier lockdown situation where only 25 mourners could be in our chapel, okay, to have the service.
Hello, Genevieve. Okay, unfortunately, I think that's just our connection has just been disconnected. We'll try and raise Genevieve Cornelius, MD Transitions, back so we can move on with the conversation. But I still have Most Reverend Dr. Paul Boafo, Chairman of the Christian Council of Ghana, with me. Rev, so by what time would we be clear with the way forward? Since Saturday is just some hours, and then we will get into Saturday. It'll probably be too late for people to reschedule their events. All right, unfortunately, I've also lost Most Reverend Dr. Paul K. Boafo, Chairman of the Christian Council of Ghana. So we're going to raise our two guests back so we can finish this conversation. It is important that we understand where we are, what the way forward is. We will take a breather. We will be back to continue this conversation. Stay with us. Well, thanks for staying with us. Let's continue with the conversation that we started a while ago. Most Reverend Dr. Paul Boafo, Chairman, Christian Council of Ghana, is with us. Genevieve Cornelius is with Enterprise Funeral Services Transitions. She's Managing Director. Before we go, we went off, Genevieve. You were explaining your understanding of this new directive. Hello, Genevieve. Hello, Genevieve. Reverend, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
I can hear you.
Okay, great. So we would work on Genevieve's connection. So, Rev, I think the last question I put to you, and I see that, Genevieve, are you nodding? Are you back with me? Okay,
not yet.
Not yet, okay. So wouldn't it be too late perhaps for people to make different arrangements if things are not clearer?
It might be late. In fact, for this week, it might be late. But we'll try as much as possible to work on it. And if the understanding I'm even getting from Genevieve, what arrangement they are doing at transition, it means that we can increase the number per the social distancing seating. If that is allowed and we can take the minister's words, then the number can move from 25 to number of mourners who will be there. That one, we can work on it today. By the close of day, this one should be done, right? And then the weddings as well. It could be part of the service, but we'll make sure that no receptions, no gatherings, nothing is made after the marriage rite in the church. The couple should go home or continue onto their honeymoon somewhere, and that is it.
Okay.
That's what we will be doing.
Okay. All right. Genevieve, I think your sound is back, so we can hear you explain further.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Okay. So Reverend, by what time should we expect that firm statement from the Christian Council? Because the churches that come under you, some of them are still not clear if what they can do tomorrow, Saturday.
Right. Yeah, but by noon we should be out. We should be out and then get things clearer for our people.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
Well, Most Reverend Dr. Paul Boafo, thank you very much. Unless you want to stay and listen to the details as Genevieve will share. Genevieve, hopefully we can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm back on, Mama V.
Okay, great.
All right. Okay. Then I will stay and listen to Genevieve after that.
Yes, Rev. Thank you. Genevieve, please continue. You were explaining the directive.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mama V. So as I mentioned, currently we are able to do a capacity of about 100, adhering to the new protocol directive that the minister gave, maintaining the distance of 1 meter between mourners seated. And so we are able to do the service. Transition, we are able to live stream the service. So those that are unable to be at the service physically are able to join both nationally and internationally, globally. And so that is where we are. We are also not allowing receptions to be done. So there are no reception whatsoever. We adhere to all the protocols of face masks, hand washing, sanitizers, checking the temperature before you enter. And immediately the service is over, we have employed security to disperse mourners within the shortest period of time.
Okay.
To avoid any sitting and holding conferences.
Okay. How are people responding to the changes? Are we still used to, not doing necessarily the so-called befitting burial for the dead?
Thank you, Mama V. I believe funerals in Ghana have changed over the past few years since we've been on the market. Traditionally, people kind of had an understanding that befitting burial, moreover, is what we call the after party of the funeral. Eventually, we've been able to move a segment of the market to understand that befitting burial is actually the preparation and the memorial service to the actual lowering of our loved ones into the grave. And so we have been able to take that whole element of offering the befitting burial. Befitting burial is not necessarily the after party, but the opportunity for the client to go through the whole process stress-free, okay? Organizing the setup for your loved one to be celebrated in the solemnful and dignified way. And that is what transition is all about. And I believe with time, we have been able to get people to buy into that concept. So last year, when the ban was restricted, the initial reaction was for people to cancel or postpone. But eventually, when people got idea of our private burial package, there was a huge take-up of that package because people came to understand that the befitting burial is not necessarily the after party, but the dignified process of handling the whole arrangement process to the actual memorial day, the way it's organized, professionally dignified and stress-free. And so I think with time, even now, as I told you before, yesterday we did organize a dignified funeral for a loved one, and there was no reception.
All right.
So I think that take-up will pick up from there.
Okay, but you still had people calling you to say, hold on to the ceremony because of the restrictions imposed now.
Yes, we still have a small segment of people still doing that. We have received a couple of alerts and letters from family saying that they want to actually hold on until they are able to solve some family issues as to who could be there and who can't be there. So that is still happening.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, Genevieve, we'll have to leave it here. Most Reverend Dr. Paul K. Boafo, Chairman of the Christian Council of Ghana. After listening to Genevieve, I don't know if there's anything that you want to share before we let you go.
Yes, Mama V, I would use this opportunity to say that even for families who would want to organize services in their churches, like Reverend said, we are working with the churches to still be able to organize those befitting burials for them at their own convenience in their churches, even if you don't want to do it at transition. So you can count on us and call us and we'll guide you through. We know we are in a stressful moment. Don't go through the stress alone. Speak to us and we'll help you out.
I should be giving you an invoice for what you said because the question was directed at Reverend.
I like that. I like that, yes. Yeah, I think we have also taken a cue from Genevieve, and Christian Council or the Christian body would also take a cue and address the situation as we find it now.
Okay.
Because people are going through stress and we don't want to increase the stress for them. We want to ease it for all of us. Yes, so thank you very much for this submission.
Thank you very much, Reverend. And, you know, it was on the back of the fact that even some church pastors were not so clear what the way forward. That's why we called on you. But thank you for responding to the call every time. Chairman, Christian Council of Ghana, Most Reverend Dr. Paul K. Boafo. And of course to you, Genevieve.
Mama.
Yes, sir. Genevieve Cornelius, thank you so much as well for joining us this morning.
Thank you, Mama V.
All right, great.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so that's where we are with this matter. Still to come, we're talking about the election petition 2020. New developments late afternoon yesterday. There's a third witness that will be called from the side of the petitioner. Rojo Metal Nodo will be, well, we don't know how, but he'll be giving testimony today. Benjamin Akako will bring you that conversation. We're also talking about those schools that have recorded cases in COVID-19, whether or not we are okay. Are we in a good place? There are parents who, after hearing that report, they're a bit unsettled. So we will have a conversation on that. The body that inspects, goes around to check with the Ghana Education Service, is making a follow-up on those schools whose names have come up in the news, and we'll be touching base with them to see what the latest update is here on the AM show. Please do stay with us.